Jesse, if we think about between us all the miles that we've put on in Ontario, what would you say would probably be your top 5 places that we've sledded and we would sort of tell people to go to in Ontario?
Well, I think for us it's an easy choice. Number one, it's got to be Cochrane in the Northern Corridor.
Mm-hmm.
We usually head up to Cochrane end of December, first ride of the year, breaking in new sleds or riding. Trails are super fast and tabletop up there. Kenny Johnson, president of Polar Bear Riders, man behind the scenes, does a lot of great work grooming the trails, getting everything ready. Avid snowmobiler himself. And yeah, just usually when we go up there, we try to take him out for dinner or something, just to show our appreciation for everything he does.
Yeah, for sure.
And when we're in Cochrane, we usually do the run from Cochrane to Hearst, which is pretty fast, straight run. Some people love it, some people hate it. We love it because it's just a fast run, it's fun. When we're in Hearst, usually the place to stay. Where do we usually stay when we're in Hearst?
At the Companion.
Yeah, the Companion Motel. Awesome place. They've got heated sled storage, an amazing bar and restaurant that would blow you away. Like, we were there, I remember it was like 12:30 at night and the place was booming. Now, with COVID going on, who knows what's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, awesome place. Definitely love staying there, and the heated sled storage is definitely a plus.
And it's cheap too. I think it's like $10 a night for heated sled.
Yeah,
storage.
it's like $10 a night. Yeah, so it's a no-brainer. At the end of the day, if it's up really cold up there, whenever you can get your machine in the warmth, you're gonna do it, right?
Yeah. I'd also say too, like in between Cochrane and Hearst, there's tons of offshoots.
Oh yeah,
trails,
when you're
right?
coming into Cap, there's those other trails. What's that trail you really love?
Is it 121 maybe on the top?
Oh yeah,
top
it goes
section.
around Brunel Park, right when you just west of Moonbeam.
Yeah.
Awesome, like really wide logging road. It's like sweeping, beautiful ride. And then when you're coming through Cap, there's all those trails you can do off. You can like go off the main A trail to get away from the big traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hearst, those loops north of Hearst are amazing. I know you haven't run it. I ran it last year. Awesome ride. Trails are usually always groomed perfect because there's no traffic on it compared to the main A trail because everyone's just going up and down that A trail. So getting off the A trail and enjoying all those side trails, like amazing conditions, and definitely something you want to check out if you're up there.
Yeah, I think last year too. Also, if you get up to Cochrane, a lot of guys like to do the canyon run.
Yeah.
That's like one of our favorites.
Yeah, it's a good combination because you have the left side of the west side of the trail, which goes up from Smooth Rock Falls up to Abitibi Canyon, and that's more of like your fast hydro line trail, so it's like a super quick run up to the canyon. And then the other side, which is directly north of Cochrane, is more of like a windy, and there's a combination. So it just gives you the ability to like ride in like different terrain, and like it's never boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, it's just like a really nice loop. It's like just over 300K, but by the time you do it, it feels like it was much shorter than that, because especially when you have the left side, which is super quick, the right side is a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, it's a really nice loop, and it's definitely a good ride if you want to stay in Cochrane, ride up the loop, come back to Cochrane, sleep at the same hotel. Definitely one of my favorite loops, hands down, in the province.
Yes, for sure. I think we try to get up there once or twice a season. We always typically stay at the Westway. It's my favorite.
Brian is the best guy. He sets you up.
Yeah, great place to stay. We've stayed at a bunch of places there in the past, but I typically always land on going to the Westway. You basically get anywhere, gas right across the street.
I feel like another main feature of it is when you're at the Westway. For me, I always like it. I know you too. We always like to park our sleds right outside our rooms. So we can see them. I don't know if it's a little bit of paranoia, sure. But at the end of the day, being able to park your machine right outside your room, parking lot for the trucks is right in the middle of the hotel, so everything is nice and open. And yeah, for me, sleds outside my room, I feel more comfortable when I go to bed.
Yeah, I think the other thing too with Cochrane is you can go in a bunch of different directions too. So I know we also sometimes like to go down south.
Yeah.
And we'll go down towards like Iroquois
Falls and down to through to the Golden Corridor, which is Kirkland Lake, and then you could also go west to Timmins. There's so many options up there. That's why we love riding there,
yeah.
Especially for the type of people that want to stay in the same hotel in Cochrane. You can ride one day the Canyon Loop, one day to Hearst, one day to Timmins, one day down to New Liskeard. Like, you have infinite options. And then on top of that, if you want to do saddlebag rides, there's lots of big loops up there that you can do. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's Cochrane. What do you think is our second top place to go in the province?
I think that trip that we did probably from Elk Lake to Sault Ste. Marie and then up to Wawa. So,
yeah, that's an awesome ride. I feel like the biggest advantage of riding in Algoma is that there's less traffic, right? Like, everyone knows Cochrane. Everyone heads up to Cochrane come December. And for the people that have been there, a lot of them know that by the end of the day, because of the traffic there, groomers can't keep up. And you come back from Smooth Rock Falls to Cochrane, and it's a roller coaster. So yeah, that's the advantage of Algoma, is much less traffic. Another thing is the trails are more versatile. There's like a combination. There's the fast trails, and then there's also like a little more technical, tighter trails where you have to slow down. So I feel like there's everything there that you could want, and you're never really gonna get bored.
Yeah, for sure. And there's great places to stay along the way there.
Oh yeah, we started our trip in Elliott Lake. We stayed at Dunlop Lake Lodge. Really great place. Kind of old fashioned, but like, we loved it. It was like a lot of fun. And then we rode to Sault Ste. Marie. We stayed at the Fairfield Inn and Suites, right on the trail. Great location. There's a Wild Wing right across the road. We went for dinner. Great food, gas station right there. Everything's there. And then third day we went up to Wawa. We stayed at the Wawa Motor Inn.
That was great.
Yeah, that was an insane place. My favorite feature of it was the restaurant was like hands down like
great food.
Delicious. And then on top of that, they also have cottages. So if you don't want to stay in the main motel and you want to stay like with a group of riders in a cabin, you can do that too. Park your sleds right up front. Super convenient. Yeah. What do you think is our number three?
Number three for me is probably going to be like New Liskeard, North Bay, Temagami area. I think that area, again, 3.5 hours from Toronto. It's super close, and the riding is fantastic. They usually get a ton of snow there.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that area. It's great. Plus, you can cross over pretty easily when we cross over into Quebec there as well.
Yeah.
So I love that area.
I feel like, when we're in North Bay, we usually, I've stayed at the Travel Lodge. Travel Lodge, and funny part about the Travel Lodge is it's right beside the Wild Wing, and in the basement of the Wild Wing is the Fannies, which is the strip club. Great place. We've had lots of fun there. And then on top of that, you ride up to New Liskeard, and on the way, that run from Temagami to New Liskeard is like probably one of our favorite runs.
I think that's definitely like one of our favorite trails in Ontario for sure.
Gets a lot of altitude, big sweeping trails. Definitely an awesome ride. I know this because Mike was bugging me for years to try this trail. I never got the chance, and then one day I said, "Okay, I'll do it." I did it, and I was like, "Wow, that is awesome!" Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just with the snowfall too, the last, probably 4 years, we haven't done a ton of riding, south of North Bay. We've done, most of our riding has been kind of North Bay, Sudbury, and north, but that's definitely, one of my favorite places to go. I love the rip across Trout Lake, the A Trail, the Pipeline Trail around North Bay. Yeah,
North Bay has lots of options. You can go south if you want to go into southern Ontario. You can go north and west around Nipissing if you want to go towards Sudbury or Elliott Lake or Algoma. You can go east to Mattawa, which is a great run. Valo Motel the Motel and Restaurant in Mattawa. Great place. Stayed there a few times. Food is amazing. Just a tip, if you're there, you should try the lasagna. It is great. North Bay, great riding. Lots of combination of different stuff. New Liskeard, a lot of New Liskeard is like farm fields. It's a little bit flat, but it's like fast running. And then once you get out of New Liskeard, there's all kinds of different riding, from tight trees to fast straight runs, all kinds of combinations.
I also like the, so when you head up the pipeline from North Bay, like up towards Temagami, you can also cut across over towards Sudbury as well. I think it's the D Trail that cuts across.
The D Trail, right when you cut.
Part of Nipissing.
Yeah, it's the connection, I think, it's the intersection right at the Rock Pine Motel, which is another great place to stay. I haven't actually stayed there, but the last time I did a trip up there, we actually used the Rock Pine last year. The hotel was closed because they were doing construction, so we used that place as like a starting spot. And then we rode from there on the D Trail across to Sudbury and then up to Algoma, and that was an awesome ride.
Yeah, and plus they're also they've got a whole bunch of new construction going on right now.
Yeah, they're doing
gonna
construction there now. So
they're basically rebuilding the whole place, which is going to be great.
I'm excited. Awesome group of the guy that owns the place, a really nice guy. Had a conversation with him. We had some pizza there for lunch before we headed home on our last day. Really down to earth, and at the end of the day, just like the type of host you want when you're staying at a hotel and you're going snowmobiling.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think would be after kind of North Bay, Temagami, New Liskeard area? What would you put up there?
I'd have to say Bancroft.
Oh yeah, Bancroft's great.
Yeah, I feel like Bancroft's really nice because you can stay in Bancroft and ride all kinds of different loops.
Mm-hmm.
And there are short loops, like especially with us, like when we go with our dads, they don't want to do these like 350 kilometer days.
Yeah.
So going to Bancroft or staying at the same hotel, they don't feel like they're holding us back, or like if a lot of the time they wake up the next day and they're sore and they don't want to ride the next day. At least now that we're staying at the same hotel, they have that option.
Yeah.
And the trails around there, I haven't ridden there in a few years. When was the last time you were there?
So we were there last year. We did 3 days in Bancroft. We stay at always when we go there. The
Sword Motor.
The Sword Motor Inn.
Great place.
Great place. It's like a perfect hub. One of the loops there that I think is really popular, that if you haven't done it, you should do it, is the Bon Echo loop. So that one, you kind of go out a little bit west and then it goes north and then kind of around Bon Echo Provincial Park. Like phenomenal sledding. It's great.
Yeah, what are the two clubs there? The Old Hastings
Old
Snow
Hastings,
Riders and the Maple Leaf Snow Skimmers. They do a great job. Trails are usually flat. And again, depending on when you go, the traffic there is pretty light and it's a great ride.
Mm-hmm. We also did the run north up to Lake St. Peter.
Yeah.
Had just been like freshly groomed. I think we were the only
best
two
when the
guys.
trail's groomed.
It was during the week. We were the only two guys out on the trail, me and my dad, and we flew up to Lake St. Peter and then cut across kind of the top part, and it was like sensational. It's perfect.
That reminds me, another tip for you guys, especially if you can. There's always going to be less traffic during the week. So if you can ride during the week, your options get way bigger of where you can go where there's no traffic, and the trails are always groomed. On the weekend, when you go on a Friday night, even by Saturday afternoon, the groomers can't keep up and the trails get a little bit beaten up. So yeah, if you can go during the week, always good. And if you can't, then you just got to be methodical of where you want to go and where you think the traffic is going to be. It's like Algoma for us is a great option for a weekend ride because usually there's not a lot of traffic.
Yeah, definitely. The traffic in Bancroft, I remember on weekends, was definitely, it's one of the busier.
Southern Ontario is always busy.
Yeah, it's one of the busier areas for sure. Just like Muskoka too. We used to ride a ton in Muskoka, but I haven't ridden there in years, to be honest. Usually find, those anything kind of 3 hours and below that from Toronto, I usually find is pretty busy. So we tend to just sort of make trips out of it now, and we're away for 2, 3, 4 nights at a time. And that's kind of the way that we've been doing it.
Yeah, especially if we're gonna go up past 4 hours and we're going past North Bay, we don't want to go there for a day or two. We want to get our money's worth and at least spend 3, 4, 5 days, get a good amount of riding in so we can say that it was worthwhile, right? So
Jess, what do you think for our 5th choice for destinations? What would you say?
I'd probably have to say the Barrie area.
Yes. Yeah, Barrie's awesome. I think for me, especially even just growing up, early days on snowmobiles, that's where I spent the majority of my time riding.
Yeah.
And that was when we had tons of snow down south. And I always thought the Snow Voyagers did an awesome job. They're a great club.
Good clubhouse too. Great parking.
Great parking, tons of room there. Good clubhouse. And I just remember the amount of times I've done that trip from Barrie through the Simcoe County forests, riding up the rail trail to Midland, to riding around Grand Tanguishene, stopping at the boathouse for lunch.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I think Barrie area has always been awesome. It was 45-minute drive from the house, so it's really close.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we all want to ride, we want to drive the least amount to snowmobile as much as we can. So if there's snow down south, obviously we're going to seize the moment and try to ride as much as we can. And that's why Barrie is a great area, because when you're coming from the city, 45 minutes to an hour, you're in Barrie.
Yeah.
And then you can ride from Barrie, you can go cross up to Midland, you can go directly north to Orillia, and from there you can connect anywhere you want, really.
Yeah. We used to also do the ride out west towards Wasaga Beach, Blue Mountains,
Also
Hollywood
good one,
area. So again, you could spend a great day riding, from.
There's a lot of different selection of trails there, right? Like some of them are really fast, and then there's also like more tight and windy type of trails.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, again, I think that's an awesome spot. Hopefully if they get some snow this year, maybe we can actually go there and ride.
Cross our fingers, yeah, I hope.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed. Those are kind of Jesse and I. Those are our top 5 picks for places to go in Ontario for snowmobiling. Hope you guys get out on the trails this year. Definitely give some of those destinations a shot and let us know how you like them.
If you liked that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the Sled Addicts YouTube channel, where we release content on everything snowmobiles. Also, hit that bell icon so you can be updated every time we release new videos.